Hello everybody, I am Mickey. I am not your mama's minister, and today we're going to be talking about Saint Marina the monk. Now, she has a shit ton of feast days. One happens to be, or today happens to be one of them. And so her story is one of my favorite stories. So she and a group of monks, and of course they believe that she's a boy, a guy. And so she and a group of these monks go out on this long journey. They're going to take care of some shit for the monastery, and so they have to stay at this inn. And the innkeeper's daughter is this total hottie, and there are also a group of soldiers staying there at the same time. And so one of the soldiers beds the innkeeper's daughter. She gets pregnant. So a little bit later, and the soldier tells her, well, you better tell people that it's the monk, that the monk violated his vows, and he's the one that got you pregnant. So she does. And then the innkeeper comes to him and is like, what the fuck, you got my daughter pregnant. And then the monks come to him and say, what the fuck, you broke your vows and got this chick pregnant. And instead of denying it, she just falls to the floor and apologizes, asks for forgiveness, never says, hey, I'm a chick, never says there's no way that I could have gotten her pregnant, nothing. She just takes the blame, takes the fall for it. And so then 9 months, they kick her out of the monastery. And so 9 months later, and she remains dressed like a boy and living as a boy. 9 months later, the innkeeper shows up and gives her the baby, and so she raises the baby. The church says she miraculously, well, there's two different legends. One says that she bought milk from like a cow herder or something like that, but the more popular one is that she had the miraculous ability to nurse the baby. Well, as most people can tell you, or most wet nurses can tell you, or anybody that's dealt with anything like that where you have to get breast milk from somebody who hasn't given birth, it's possible. It's not a miracle. Well, it's a miracle in the sense of our bodies are amazing, the things that we can do with them. Yay, science. And so so she raises the little boy, and then 10 years later, the monks come back to her and say, okay, you've done, enough penance away from us. You can come back to the monastery, but you're going to have to do all the shit jobs, cooking, cleaning, all of that. And so she's like, okay. So she brings the little boy with her, and still nobody knows that she's a chick. And so then she dies when she's 40. She raises the boy, and he ends up becoming a monk as well. And she dies when she's 40. And of course they're cleaning her up. Her fellow monks are cleaning her up, and they're like, oh, look at this. Oh shit, she's got a vagina. And so they're all just like so devastated that, she had taken this responsibility when all she had to do was say no, that she wasn't the one guilty of it, and say, hey, I'm a girl, I couldn't have done this. And so she ended up leaving behind letters that explained her situation and her history. And then she ended up becoming the patron saint of, well, in modern times, of course, the church is not going to say this, but she is the patron saint, one of the primary patron saints of cross-dressers and transgendered people, and also those people who have secret identities or hidden identities, living two lives, things like that. She is also a patron saint of nursing mothers and of childbirth and of the falsely accused. And so one of the things that I really love about this story is that it was a trade-off. She knew that if she went ahead and admitted, I am a woman, there's no way that I could have gotten the innkeeper's daughter pregnant. If she had done that, she knew that she would be, there was no way she was going to be able to live as a monk anymore. but she also knew that if she just took responsibility for it, that she also was going to lose her position as a monk as well. And so it's kind of one of those damned if you do, damned if you don't situations. But another thing is that I really like how she handled the situation. She could have put the responsibility on the actual father. She could have basically said, no, this chick did not have sex with me, which would have then, of course, caused problems with her father and everybody else. Could have had the woman ostracized for lying, all of those things, and instead she just said, no, I'm sorry that I did this. I'm sorry that I broke my vows, and the baby's mine. And she took responsibility for that child. And it's really funny because we look at the concept of cuckolding. We look at the concept of being somebody else's, oh, well, that's not really my baby. I mean, we've got talk shows and reality shows that are all about that. And then we have the people on the other side. I mean, I have a very dear friend who, it's a girl, and she is helping to raise her husband's children by a previous wife. There are so many different situations where these amazing people say, I don't give a shit if this person didn't come from my DNA. They are mine. They are my responsibility. They are my loves. And so it's a beautiful story, because not just because of course you know how I feel about religious fundamentalism, but so I'm not too keen on that aspect of it. But I do like that instead of throwing somebody else under the bus for their responsibility, she just said, I can do this. I can bear this burden and turn it into something that isn't a burden. And so that's fucking fantastic as far as I'm concerned. There are a lot of just absolutely blessed people out there that have decided, I'm going to step in because somebody stepped away. I am going to take on this responsibility because somebody else is not doing it. And if the world was full of people who felt like, okay, well, I'm not going to wait for the next person to stop at that accident. I'm not going to wait for the next person to help in this situation. I'm just going to go ahead and take responsibility and say that because I'm a human being, because I am connected to everything and everybody, I will take care of this. I will take care of this situation. So have a fantastic, actually the day is almost over, so have a fantastic evening, and I think that might be it for today. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment, and I will talk to you very soon.